Okay, I have both chats open. We're ready to go, I think. Notification is notified. Okay. Cool. You know how on Windows you've got the icons for your open programs at the bottom of your taskbar? And like if you click the icon I mean, say you've already got it selected, like say it's this, and you can't see it, but like, you know, I go click the icon, it's supposed to like minimize, right? And sometimes it just takes like 4 clicks for that to actually work. I don't get it. I don't know if it's like, see, the other fun thing that's possible is that it could be confusing. It could like think I'm trying to do a different gesture. It could think I'm trying to do the click and drag gesture. And that would happen if I'm like slightly moving my mouse when I go to click the thing. And so that's annoying, right? That's weird. That's like a weird annoying thing. And I don't know how you solve for that, but it is annoying. And I don't know whether to blame it on Windows either, because like I don't actually know that that's what's happening, is the funny thing. It could just as easily be just like this weird glitch that just happens occasionally. So anyways, I'd like to try to do a long stream today, and we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, I'm very tired right now because I need food, and I've got food right now. So I'm gonna like be eating for a little bit. I hope that's okay. I'm also going to be programming. I'm not just I'm not just going to sit here and eat. So over the weekend, I started doing a little bit of refactoring on the server. It's refactoring that I've wanted to do for a very long time. And sort of the main idea is that when I get a message in, where do I read it? Okay, here. So I read some bytes from the socket, and the socket may contain 1 or more, well, I guess 0 or more, right, for this case. 0 or more messages, frames. And so that's why this while loop exists, because you know, they could have sent me multiple messages, and they kind of just stack together. And that's not really the point, though, because I claim I've solved that problem. We may later find out that I haven't really solved it properly, but I seem to have solved it serviceably enough. I do think back to some weird tests where randomly some key inputs were just like dropped. It was like a 1 in 1,000 kind of thing that was going on. Yeah, that's strange. That's still ongoing. But no, that's not really relevant. I'm just sort of like reminding myself here. So yeah, so we parsed, we looked for the header first, because that's the only thing that can really tell us where one message stops and another begins in this like just this series of bytes that are indistinguishable. So yeah, we parse the header, and then the header, assuming we're parsing it correctly, will tell us how big the payload is, and that basically will tell us when to stop, when the frame stops. And then what happens? So that's great. That just works. And then you have to, of course, you unmask it, right? So anything that the client sends you is going to be masked. Okay, so you have to unmask it, and that goes in decoded message in. Okay, so we're reading off of we're reading off of one buffer and putting it in another buffer. And then in this buffer, okay, so this buffer gets written to for each message. So it's in this while loop, you see? And there could be multiple messages in this message in buffer. But the thing is, for my actual, for I guess the quote unquote business logic, the thing that's actually unique to my application is that I've got this switch case thing. The first byte, it used to be the first 4 bytes. I was using a full int. So I'm changing that. It's not totally changed yet because I have to go do the same thing on the client end. But the so now it's a byte. Yeah. Okay. So this indicates what kind of request the client is making to my server. It's slightly inaccurate to consider it a request, of course, because this is two-way communication. It's the WebSocket protocol. It's not like a REST endpoint. It's different. But I basically treat it like a REST endpoint some of the time. And so anyways, this is just like the kind of message that it is. And, maybe I should call it message type. Huh. It's interesting. I want to call it message type. I just decided. Actually, the smarter way to do this would be to do this. This is what the stream is going to be like today, okay? So like if I don't get depending on how fast this refactoring goes, it's just going to be a lot of this. So like maybe not that exciting, but of course it needs to be done. Okay, so anyways, message type. And so I'm calling. So this is the decoded message in is all payload. To be clear, okay. So there's a header, which is part of the bits that the bytes that are sent in. Okay, it's all still technically part of the frame, but we take out the header. And we have a payload, which I'm calling decoded message in. And then we have this thing called the inner payload. And the inner payload is the part that doesn't include the message type. And I don't want to include the message type because in these functions, we don't care about the message type because we already know what it is. These are specific to the message type, and there's nothing you need to do with the message type. It's not like there's no like sub messages. You don't need that data for all these. I guess to some extent that's an assumption, right? I'm assuming that for all of these use cases, I will never need to know the message type because I'm not encoding any additional information in there. But yeah, that's what I'm going with. And I'm doing that because I found that in basically at the start of each of these, I was having to offset the pointer to the payload by whatever the message type size was, and I didn't like that. That was annoying. So yeah, that that took like a while. But it's not done yet. That's the best part. So now I'm gonna go. So like I've changed the insides of these functions. I think I've changed all of them now. But I didn't change how they're being called, how they're being used. So I got to go change that everywhere. So that's the story of what we're doing today. I hope you enjoy. And for heaven's sake. Okay. I wanted to copy all of this. Yeah, see, this definitely has more arguments. So, match state, give me match state. We're not passing in the header. We are passing in the payload, which is an inner payload. And we're passing in inner payload size. And we can still pass in client data. And client data num elements. And client index is going to be I. And I guess I need client data capacity. Why is that? Well, I can't really go look at the old version of my function now, can I? But oh, right, yeah. The resizing functionality, which I haven't implemented yet, depends on client data capacity, and I didn't have that in there before, so that was like not future-proof. Yeah. And I assume that I can just go, I can access this, right? Yes, I can. Alrighty then. Cool. Alright, and then we take a break and eat some food. I'm feeling so much better after. Just took like 2 minutes. That's fairly straightforward. That's good. And bear in mind, I haven't compiled this yet, so there's going to be a crap load of compile errors. Paste, please. Thank you. That reminds me. Oh, this should be... Oh, wait a second. What is this? This should have a different name. This should not be called client. This should be called client file descriptor, I think. If I'm like... Because if we look at this... Yeah, so I don't want to call that client anymore. I want to be consistent and call this client file descriptor. Okay. And shouldn't this be in like a slightly different spot? I don't know. Slightly different order. I guess it's fine. But yeah, this that little copy paste issue a second ago reminded me of so Teams has this funny thing where if you want to format your text, actually if you don't want to format your text, okay, if you want to say you're pasting something into Teams and the source where you're pasting it from has some kind of formatting that you don't want to carry over. What you would do is you would do Control-Shift-V, because that generally is a pretty common shortcut for that, and I tried it, and yeah, normally that works. However, Control-Shift-C does not do anything you want it to do, and it's very easy. It's very easy to accidentally hit Control-Shift-C when you're trying to hit Control-Shift-V. Control-Shift-V, not that common, but like a pretty common thing that you might do. Control-Shift-C, what that actually does is it begins a call. It begins a call, and so imagine if you accidentally press Control-Shift-C in, just like a large general chat room. Oh, I did that. It was terrible. Because the frickin' shortcut is stupid. Yeah. Okay, this all looks good. I do need to like spot check all this stuff and make sure that it seems reasonable. I'm sure there's gonna be some errors. Oh, and I'm not passing in payload anymore because, or I'm not passing in header anymore because yeah, why would I? Oh yeah, because the header has payload information for the whole payload, not like the part of the payload that we want. So like, this is just -1. This is just -1. No, I did change one thing at least there. Okay. Oh, hey, it's the last one. Okay. Yep, that's going to be inner payload. Inner payload size. Client names. Fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic. All right. This is very good. Yeah, I also fucked with the things that construct the responses. Not that. Well, maybe this. Did I mess with this? No, I don't think I did. What, like, I don't know, this? I mess with this a little bit, definitely, and basically the things that construct the frames, I mess with those. So those are also a potential source of bugs. It's gonna be great. This could go really, really badly. Like, I might be stuck debugging this all day. For some reason, I don't think I will be, but we'll see. All right. Here we go. We're off to the races. How is that possible? Okay, this could be caused by the third place where these functions exist, which is up here. Ah. This is wrong. Okay. That's an easy enough fix. I thought I did that already, but I guess I didn't. Did I get everything? I feel like I didn't. No, I did. Anything else that obviously has the header in it? No. Okay. Okay. Good, good. You know, usually on Kick it shows me my chat history. But it's not there presently. That's a little bit odd. Does that happen every Monday since it's been like, over the weekend? Hmm. This is 3 arguments. It's not 3 arguments. Oh my goodness. Blast it all. See, this is something that my IDE should be able to catch for me. But it can't because this code wouldn't compile on Windows. And we don't want it to compile on Windows. Because my server is not a Windows. Okay, and that didn't do it somehow. How'd that not work? In function. Ah, so it's probably an issue with construct text train. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yep. Oh, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I corrected it up here already. I'm pretty sure. But I didn't correct it here. Okay, so payload size, header size, buffer size. Payload size, buffer. No, header size. Okay. Okay, so this is actually something I didn't really solve yet. Right. Okay, I think I'm using this correctly. Yes. There we go. All right. So that's the header size, and then we put the header size right here. And if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be... oh, it's a size T here, which it shouldn't be. It should be a uint 8t. And that will not cause any issues anywhere else. Okay. Cool, I think. Payload out. Oh, so this is a slightly dumb function. Because this doesn't need to be defined here. It can be delayed to be defined here. So what we want to put here is payload out size, obviously. And why do I payload in size? Why do I care about payload in size? I think, okay. I think this is another decision I made where, like, I want each of the functions to do validation on the size of the payload that they're being asked to deal with, and that even applies here. Yeah, okay, this makes sense. Yeah, so I just didn't do it here yet, but basically I think I just do like if payload in size is not equal to 0, throw an error. Because for the initial info request, you're not supposed to give anything besides just like the message type. Like, okay. And I need to go copy paste the code that does that. Here it is. Very good. And I think that's actually the totally right way to do it. Because there could be situations where you're just being sent garbage data, and just coincidentally, it reads a byte that corresponds to this function, and it could be trying to like. Well, it's not going to try to do anything with the rest of the data, but it's just like a sign that things have gone wrong. Perfect. Okay. Compile again. Okay, back to handle spectator requests. Which I don't know where it is. This file's getting pretty big. Hard to navigate in. But I don't want to use multiple files because then I'd have to figure out how to link files in C. I don't want to have to do that. I'm sure I'll eventually have to do it. And I kind of did something like that with the SSH library, I think. But I was just following a guide. Oh, that's right. I made another function. Yeah, okay. Having to pass false is like a bit weird, but I already have this function, and there's two use cases. One is where we calculate the frame header of the message that was sent in. Is that right? That kind of doesn't make sense. Oh, right, yeah. But like, huh. Surely we needed to know the header size here. Surely we needed to know the header size here. Yeah, we're doing the logic right here. Okay, this is a little bit silly. Oh my god. Mixing camel case with snake case. It's great. Okay, so I think what I do to actually make kind of solve this problem is I just go up here and add the concept of header size to this struct. That's what you would do, I think. So here, we never need to call this in this case. We just get the header size from when we're parsing the header. But now we have to actually go do that, which may not be trivial. And then here, we do this, plus equals 2. And finally, we say header, arrow, header size equals header size. I could do this alternatively. Well, I don't need to do that. You don't need to declare it because doing this, it's already got the space for it. You don't need to like do that. I just do this, I think. That's even better. That's even better. Oh. That was potentially disastrous. A masking key is 2 bytes, right? Well, I could go look at the calculate function. It's 4 bytes. It's 4. I'm glad I checked. now I'm going to change all these to returns because we're not going to use... Yeah, I thought there was something at the back of my head telling me. Is this going to compile? Does this need a final else? It might. It might. I think that's right. Okay, where were we? Here. 4. Huh. I could change this. This is redundant with header size, I think. I could do this. I think that's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. That's clever. I mean, it's not that clever, but it's pretty good. Okay. We're not done yet. We're not done with that refactor. Here we're using the header size. Now I gotta go to all usages of calculate. Even the definition of it as well. Or at least the prototype, the forward declaration. Okay. What about other usages of that one temporary calculate header size thing I had? That's not going to be very productive. Okay, I think that's it. Uh-huh. 159? Oh, my bad. I didn't notice that it was used elsewhere. That should be good now. Is someone messaging me? What's happening? There's a post in my Discord server. Let me go look at that. I see. Okay. No, nothing that needs my immediate attention. Handle a spectator request again. Oh my goodness, such a naughty program. Okay. Error message out size undeclared. First use in this function. Oh? Why didn't I notice that? Okay. So we need to know the message out size when we're constructing the player key event frame? Why not just the payload out size? Why not just the payload out size? 1, 2, 3. What's the third argument? 1, 2, 3. The third argument to this is header size, actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We have several issues here, actually. Several issues here. Message out start. Okay, I think it's fine to call it that. Yeah, because part of the logic of this function is that we're being sent from the user essentially a pointer or an index. They're going to tell us how many key events they've seen so far, so that we can send them. We can continue sending them the rest. So we're starting in the middle of some series of events that we have stored locally. So that's fine. We can call it that. Payload out size. And we have payload in size as well, right? Yes. Because we have to do this check. Yes. And buffer, message out. And message out size. Yep. That's pretty standard. Okay. And you're so long now that we need we definitely want to put you on multiple lines. Well, we don't really want to, but we kind of have to. Okay, that writes it to message out. Message out size is what we need to send the message. Okay, we did that same song and dance before. Should be good now. In function handle name request. Temp string uncleared. Yeah, because I thought I got rid of that. What nonsense are you trying to pull here? On line 535. Oh, it's just a print statement? Oh, for heaven's sake. Username length. Do I have a variable for you anymore? Payload size. Yeah, payload size. Name is valid. Name is valid. Okay. I think that's fine. That will fix the error. Oh, 2 errors for the price of 1. Look at us. Oh no. Okay, that's concerning. $665? $665. Aha! Oh, I bet I know what's up with that. That's because it's called payload size now. Yeah, payload size. Okay. And I'm going to replace all the usages of payload length with payload size, because I think I called it payload length because the RFC calls it payload length. But I don't care what the RFC says. I want to call it payload size. And they can't stop me. I don't think. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. More payload length related errors. What is this? Construct player key for a frame. Okay. Obviously, I don't need that. Header payload size. Unmask payload data. Why? Why do I make a variable here? What is the purpose of this? Is it to make this for loop smaller? Is it to make this if statement smaller? It doesn't matter. Okay. That must have bothered me back then, but now it doesn't bother me. I've leveled up as a C programmer, I guess. that I can tolerate worse looking code. That's truly powerful. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you do need semicolons, that is correct. Still definitely need semicolons. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. $754. Payload start is undeclared. Huh. Now, is that because... Oh. Oh, okay. Buffer? Payload. Huh? No, it should be buffer, I think. Yeah. And the other possibility is 10, but I just assume that I'll never need to deal with that case. Okay. You know, this error message is now unhelpful because there's at least 2 of these. Okay. Yeah. I'm on board now. I get it. Conflicting types. Where's construct text frame? Okay. So I think I need to go up to its forward declaration, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So is it header size that's wrong? It is. It's header size that's wrong. Okay. Because at one point I wanted the header size to be a size T, but size T is actually quite large, and I know that the header is always going to be really small, so you can just use a uint 8T for that. Does it matter? Ultimately, no. But, I mean, it seems like such an obvious thing. Oh my gosh, and the server's running. Wow. Dude, easy as that. It's as easy as that. Amazing. Okay. I'm just about done with my food here. So let me finish that up. I've been eating it for an hour. That's fine. Okay. Engage maximum focus mode. I'm ready for a nap. So what are we doing? I would like to make sure that all of the functionality that I had before still works. It won't, actually. because of this change. Okay. All right, I can fix that. So now I go to the client and I'm going to make a bunch of changes to the client. A bunch of small changes, actually. Here we are. Aha, this is no longer a 4-byte request. It is now 1. And we're going to set uint8, which doesn't need this anymore, to 3. So that's fine. It's beautiful. Oh, we're saving the environment with how few bytes we're using, guys. This is great news. This is so good for the ecosystem. So much more efficient. We're not using, so much less waste, right? So much less waste. We really need to conserve bytes here. Do our part. Okay, so you're going to be 2 now. You're going to be 2 because this is now a set uint8. And there's the message type, and then we're going to set 1 to the division ID. Yes. Yes, it's beautiful. We're sending so little data. Isn't this great? God, I love this. It's all it's all just the overhead now. It's all frickin' header. Okay, player counts request. Yeah, that's just a byte. This is not. This is more. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, this is, yeah. So I think 10? Yeah. No, not 10. 11. Haha, it's not 0 bytes. Hope I didn't screw that up elsewhere. 1 plus 1, 2, 1. Yeah, okay. Very good. All right. Now it'll compile, and now we should be able to go ahead and run it. Go ahead and test it. Go ahead and run a test on it. Go ahead and test running it. Okay, the server's on. I need a new browser window to be able to open the client. I'm going to open the console. Okay, it looks like I got an error of some kind because it's not loading. And Chrome wants me to know that they updated themselves, which now makes me immediately suspicious of everything. Boop. Okay. Make sure this is the right aspect ratio. Good. What do we got here? We have a new look. Guys, new colors. They invented new colors for the browser thing. Isn't that exciting? Multiple monitor UI improvements is probably pretty important. Okay, so... What? Huh? Did we not get a response? What's the server up to right now? Server, are you okay? It's not. It's not okay. Okay. Error parsing frame header. Is that right? Huh. That's so concerning. Just give me an error in literally the hardest part of the program to debug. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks so much. Thank you so much. How? Okay. Huh. So we got this. It could be any of these. Why do I do this to myself? Why? Oh my goodness, dude! A little bit of foresight would have been appreciated. Good stuff. Okay. We try this again. Aha! Code 4. Thank you. Okay, so we must have gotten pretty far. What is... Huh. Curious. So this should be 4 plus header size. I think. So this is checking... the save bytes left to read, if I recall correctly, comes from the fact that we know... Yeah, we know when we read from our buffer that has multiple messages, we know how many more bytes of data we should that we pulled off, you know. But this function wouldn't know that necessarily, right? And there's a possibility that, like, I don't know, the message gets cut off or something weird happens. So we're just passing this in to be like, hey, by the way, make sure you double check um, before you go to read bytes. You need to double check whether it's safe to read those bytes or if you're gonna get a seg fault. And safe bytes left to read does not get updated. Why don't I check it up here, I wonder? What am I doing here? Is it because I'm not reading anything? Well, no, I am reading the first byte. Look at this. I'm reading the first byte. Shouldn't I put this check up top? So 2 bytes is the least possible size. It would be 2 bytes of header and 0 of payload. Frame data 0, frame data 1. Yeah, and now I can delete this variable. Oops, Jesus, that's a scary pop-up. I think I hit like Control D or something, I don't know. Alright, I think we're good. I think this is the right math, right? Because we're reading, this is basically what we're doing here. Yeah. Okay. That wasn't so bad to debug, right? That wasn't so bad. Very good. I'm gonna go delete this stuff up here. We don't need that anymore. This is just having fun with string lengths and byte lengths and how they're different. Huh? What? Okay. It's a little bit sus. And the fact that this variable is never used is also a little bit sus, but whatever. Okay. So we're trying to test things, right? We're trying to test things. We're requesting the player counts. I could look at the server, see that it's not getting an error, and assume that it's all good. Okay, it seems to be all good. One way we could tell is if we go ahead and register. Okay. And yep, that looks like it worked. Server, everything looks cool on the server. All right, cancel registration. Perfect. Yep. Yep. All right, all right. Oh yeah, name myself. Oh dear. Okay, how did this happen? That's not what you like to see. $502. So, yeah, this must be wrong, right? Okay, so it should just be 1 plus. Okay, that's no big deal. Can I just search for the number 4? I should be... Ah! Okay. That was actually a very effective method. Because this is wrong. This should start at 1. And this should be 12, 11, and 9. And then this should be 13. This should be 10. Okay. Any other usages of the number 4? Well, that's not helpful. Nope, that's not helpful either. Yeah. Yeah. That looks okay. All right, we're good. 100% certified bug-free. All right, let's try connecting to the server again. I'm going to check on the server in a second. Here we go. And the server should, naturally... Username's not taken. Okay, very good. So we should see, I believe I printed out the username. Huh? Ah, here it is. Okay. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Why am I sending 18 bytes? Is it four ints? Or however many one int for each division? That's probably it. Or more. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Where it's... And since we have 4 divisions, and there's 4 ints, that gives you 16, plus 2 bytes for the header. Mission accomplished. That's why it's 18 bytes. Okay, holy cow, dude. Everything is working well. Awesome. Now... Yeah, what happens if I just send this again? It says username is not taken, but like... It shouldn't check whether it's taken, I wouldn't think. Oh, hold on, I gotta sneeze. Okay. There's someone driving by playing loud music. Okay, handle name request. What do we do here? Okay, so we just ignore this case. Yeah, all we care is that... Huh. You know... You know what? This is... I think this is a... Is this a potential memory leak? I think it is. Okay, how does this work? How does this work? So we take the payload and we copy it to a new thing that we just calloced. And okay. Right, right. And so what we should do, because what could happen hypothetically is someone could rename themselves infinity times and then I'd run out of memory. So that's technically an issue. Where do we... Oh, here it is. Okay. So if the name is valid, then we would... Because what's stored here is a pointer. And we overwrite that pointer. So what we should do is if the name is valid, then we delete that where that pointer was pointing to. Unless it wasn't pointing to anything. What would it have been pointing to? That's another interesting question. What is client names? What is it pointing to? It's pointing to an empty string. Okay. That's actually perfect. Because in that case, I can free it safely. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So we free you. Be free. Be free. And if it's not valid, haha, if it's not valid, we actually free, oh, I should have copied the other thing, that's fine. We actually free username. We free username because that's a temporary thing that we created to hold the username from the payload. Yes. Yes, very good. Okay, we patched a memory leak that didn't exist yet. Well, I mean, it did exist. And probably it would have literally never caused an issue. But there we go, we did it. This is possibly the only time I will ever use free. Because kind of what I plan to do. Oh, well, maybe that's not true. But what I could do, what I was gonna say is I plan to essentially just restart the server every time there's a new tournament. I don't technically know that I could do that. Maybe I could, because I need some process to always be running to be able to know when to start the server. So there might just be a way to do that, right? Can I just do... Is that just like what a cron job is? Is that... See, I don't actually know much about Linux, but I think that that's what you would do. Is you would just say, hey, run this program. every once in a while. Um, the server would need to know to end itself. The server would have to know to kill itself, and that's not. And that's the technically right way to refer to it. Cool. Okay. And we don't free the username here because it's still a used pointer. It's you need to save that pointer because that's where the username is. Sick. Awesome. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. I'm so excited. I got to use free for the first time. And it was like an actual needed use of it. That's so cool. Everything else I don't really need to free because I still need to use it through the whole duration of the program. I think. I claim. All right. Well, what's stopping me from making more progress? What is stopping me right now? Well, I could. What happens next in the server, or from the client's perspective, is that the match starts. Right, the match starts, which means, well, yeah, you'd go to mid game lobby. And then we haven't decided what we do there yet. Okay. Oh, so this is a whole new thing. So maybe I need to think about this for a minute. What needs to happen here? Okay, so I think I think for right now, how's this gonna work? So for things like scoring and stuff like that, and like maybe validating what the user's sending us, all I'm gonna do is have a copy of all the songs on the server. But that doesn't mean that the client gets the songs from the server. Actually, the client is going to get the song from Amazon S3 because right now that's how I have all the online stuff working is through Amazon S3. And I could eventually switch that over to work to do everything through my server. I'd actually really like to do that because then, well, I was gonna say I wouldn't have a dependency on Amazon, but that's not technically true, right? Um, because they're the ones hosting my server. But it means that I could it's if I wanted to move away from AWS and go be hosted someplace else, it's a simpler move. It's a simpler process overall. There's fewer moving parts, and it could be easier to automate. I mean, technically, you can automate, right? You can automate S3. You can automate like creating a table or whatever, but having it all be running on one server, that could save me money, of course. That could save me money, and do I think it would improve performance? Probably not. That's probably not possible realistically, right? Because I think even yeah, I think since AWS is gonna like independently host every little service, it's gonna run faster. So I don't necessarily think that it's gonna run faster if I put it all on the same server. I think it'll actually run slower. I think it'll run slower, and I also think it'll be significantly more fragile. Because if one thing breaks, it depends on like how tightly coupled I'm doing this. If I'm smart, I'll have everything running on separate processes, right? But yeah, that's definitely going to be an engineering challenge. But it's probably I would consider the ideal state of the game or of the server to be just like all one thing. That would be cool. Because if it's all one thing, then like I could maybe technically sell it at one point, right? Like, hey, go host your own server. I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what people would want, but that is an idea, I guess. And I certainly couldn't, like sell the server if it involves like, oh yeah, just like, make an AWS account and do this stuff and then like configure it and then you can actually run the server. No, it'd be cool if the server was literally just like a one run thing. I mean, it'd be even cooler if for most of this stuff you didn't even need a server. Like the file hosting and stuff like that. Like actually I'd like to just be able to distribute all the songs um with the game, and then the game could load the songs locally, right? Why are you even loading it from the cloud? Well, we're loading it from the cloud because I decided to write my client in JavaScript. Okay, that's why. And I spent 6 fucking years writing this shitty client because JavaScript was all I knew. And here we are. You know what? Here we are, and we still have to make progress and learn things and just like do the best we can. Right? I'm trying. Well, that was a fun little diversion. Okay, so I need to actually go do some coding over here. Excuse me. Oh yeah, we still have plenty of time to do more programming. See, this is where I would normally stop, right? But I'm trying to go longer today. So I need to sit here and figure out what the frick we're gonna do with mid-game lobby. What's mid-game lobby supposed to be? I do need to drink something. I haven't drank for a while. Okay, what's weird is that you don't go to the mid-game lobby if you're not a spectator, right? Not at first, at least. Hmm. Hmm. I have a feeling this is gonna look kind of shitty. uh, but because it's gonna be so weird, right? Going to the results screen and then going to the mid game lobby, isn't that gonna be weird? I don't know. I don't know, but it's all I can do. That's pretty much what I gotta do. Um, so yeah, you wouldn't go to the mid game lobby if you're not a spectator. So I need an if statement somewhere for one thing, right? So where's the button? Where's the button that's like pretend? Okay. Okay. But why does it act like it didn't do anything? Because it clearly did a thing. Oh. Oh? Why do I have two buttons? What is okay, so like how does this okay, I should start the server. Okay. Okay, okay. So I guess I made two buttons that kind of do the same thing, but whatever. Um, okay, so the pretend the match starts button should actually kind of be like an if statement, right? And so what we're gonna do is I should probably put this in a function, right? This doesn't exist. Can you? No, I'm just gonna like go put it someplace. What is this? Status message. Oh, I think I know what that is. That's a very vague message. Um, okay, and what do we do here? So we have like an if statement, and then we're gonna be like this dot division ID. Okay, if this dot division ID is undefined. Oh, it's actually 3 states. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So this is something I need to just actually program. Is it needs to display huh. Weird. Okay. So actually, so what should happen in this case is like is nothing. It should be like a fall through case. Like what should happen is like the timer reaches 0, or it's like there should be some flag that says like the match is ongoing. Huh. And we kind of need that information from the server too. Okay, how's that gonna work? How's that gonna work? Okay, as I lean back in my chair. How does the client know if a match is ongoing? Is it implicit with the time remaining until the match starts? Huh. I don't think it should be like that. I think the server or the client should actually be asking the server what its state is. I think that's what should be going on. Well, that's a little bit weird because I didn't consider that, and I'm already like, there's already two kinds of ways that I'm asking the server for like generic information. So that's a little bit weird, right? There's the initial info request, and then there's the player count request. Uh, okay. So let me think about this. Does this make sense? So how this would work is basically the client asks the server how many seconds left until the match starts. Let me like double check that that's how it works on the server side. Initial match info request. Okay. And this is a number of seconds. I mean, in reality, this is going to be some number that the server knows about, and it's not going to be hard coded. So how is this going to work? I think that almost makes sense. Doesn't that almost make sense? Because the client is a computer, right? We should assume that the client can keep time properly. I may like it's maybe it's not actually an issue. It's not like an actually a real issue. Um, so the server says to the client, "Hey, wait 600 seconds or whatever." And then after 600 seconds has passed, then the client will stop sending player count update requests. That's what will happen. The client will stop sending player count update requests. Um, okay, and yeah, I see the next part of the client's behavior. I actually want to be dictated by the server is the thing. Yeah, because I don't like one of the things that happens is there needs to be a minimum number of players signed up for a particular division for that division to actually kick off and start. Um, do I really want to do that? Is there any issues with that? Now that I'm thinking about it. Um, I mean, certainly we don't want just one player in a division, right? That's one consideration. That seems obvious. And and I want winning a division to be like a non something that has non-zero value. Um, so yeah, so I just have some arbitrary requirement for how many people have to be in a division for it to start up, and I guess it's sort of yeah, I guess it's like a social engineering thing a little bit where I force people to group up a little bit, right? Yeah, it's like a social engineering thing a little bit. Uh, does make it a little bit risky for some people, right? Like if you're people, people could play a prank on you, right? If they wanted to be an asshole, they could just all of a sudden leave a particular division, which is that's a fun little prank people could do. That's a fun little prank. Hmm. That's a little bit tricky, right? Like that is a little bit weird. I think that's just how it has to work, kind of. Huh. Yeah, Trackmania. I was thinking of like, well, what does Trackmania do? Trackmania doesn't have this problem. Um, and Trackmania has so many players per shard. Like they do have divisions technically, but um, they're dynamic. They're not like based on anything. They're just based on like dividing the player base into certain sets of just like evenly partitioning them. I think I'm pretty sure. Um, so they have some critical mass of people where that generally like can't really happen. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So back to the problem at hand. You're the client. You're the client, and you want to know from the server that that you're actually good to go. That you're good to like start. If they're a regular player, you're good to like start sending them player key events and like do stuff like that. You want to have some kind of final confirmation, um, because the user could have been doing stupid shit. The user could have been doing weird stuff. I don't know. So we kind of want the server to dictate the behavior of the client, like what's going to happen next. So I think how that could work. How could that work? How could that work? So what is this new request type? In what situations would it be used? I might actually need two whole new types of requests here. Okay. So in the case where a match is just getting ready to start and we want to know how to do that transition, the client goes and asks the server, "Hey, I am this user." Actually, no, the client doesn't do that. The client doesn't say that. It's because it's implicit. Because it's implicit by the file descriptor assigned to the client. So they don't actually need to say what username they are. They need to say, "Hey, tell me what I do next," and then they just wait for a response from the server. And then, as soon as the server tells them what to do, they go do that. Okay. But the server doesn't really have the capacity to tell them to wait in that moment, I guess. So what would happen? What would happen in that case? Yeah, there could definitely be there's definitely a race condition of some variety there. There's definitely a kind of race condition there, literally. So probably for this new kind of request, the server can say, "Hey, you're good. Here's the information you need to continue. Go do that." Or the server can respond, "No, wait. Check back with me in a second. You're not good to go. Just wait." Okay. So that's already a little complicated. Um, but that's fine. That's fine. Because you can send different sized messages in response to the same message. That's no big deal. And that's significantly easier for the client to handle than it is for the server to handle. I think. No, actually, both of them can handle that pretty well. Yeah, no, both of them can handle that situation pretty well. Okay, um, so case 8 is like, client is asking if it's okay to advance to the looking state. Tell the client their division ID. Is that it? Is that it? Is that all you need? Because if it's division ID -1, well, division ID -1. Division ID -1 is spectator, right? Division ID -1 is spectator. Or, okay, what's the possibility here? Could they possibly not be registered? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter if they're not registered. The client will sort of have to decide what to do in that situation, right? Is it like if they're not registered at all, it should still give them the option to spectate, because anybody can spectate at any time. It doesn't freaking matter. As long as the match is actually started, they can spectate. But there should be another special case that's like, wait, I don't actually know your division ID. So give them their division ID, or ask them to wait, which I think would be -2, the division ID of -2, because -1. Yeah, int date -1. Yeah. And we're never going to store -2. It's just a response that they can receive. And we're working with an int 8, so we have to, make it a small number. Okay. And now I'm connecting this to the broader use case that we're working on here. Okay. So this is kind of like asking for the state. Yeah, I don't know how exactly I should describe this request, but it's useful, I think. And then say you're a user, say you're the client who you're late to the party, right? Like the user didn't even know that there was going to be a tournament ongoing, right? They're just like checking out the multiplayer to see if there is one soon. And what could happen is, I think, always the client is going to start with initial match info, with an initial match info request. And so and I think there's only two possibilities that they could get back from this, right? Okay. There's only two possible answers they could get back from this. It's either, let me think. One possibility is no response. Is that true? No, I don't think that is true. No, because the server kind of always needs to be running. Is that right? I don't know. Probably the server is always running, and probably you can always give it an initial match info request, right? Yeah, probably you always do that. So it should always handle not receiving anything as meaning the server's dead and there's an issue. Yeah, and how long does it take to restart a server, anyways, right? If we do actually have a memory issue, and we have to restart the server, because I don't know how to program freeing the memory, so we're just not going to. Um, yeah, so the client asks the server how long until the match starts. That's embedded in this initial match info request. And the server let me think here. Yeah, we can't do like secret songs or anything, like songs they don't have access to, because the server doesn't give them the songs, right? So at least for this demo, it's all going to be known stuff that they can go and practice beforehand if they really want to. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So when the client shows up, let's see, how many possibilities are there. Either the match starts some number of seconds from now, or the match is already started. And if the match has already started, they will receive a negative number of seconds until the match starts, right? Because it's counting down, and it's going to be a negative number. And if it's a negative number, that means that the match has started. Okay. Then what happens? Well, huh. Well, if it's a positive number, there's yeah. So what happens if it's a negative number? If it's a negative number, probably what you do is you do this again just in case. You do this check again just in case because it's possible that you got 0 or -1 back, like it just started, right? You wanna handle that case too. And so someone showing up late for the party um kind of gets treated the same way as this guy who's asking, if it's okay to advance, I guess. Um okay. And in both of those cases, okay, certainly, unless there's some glitch, the guy who just shows up out of nowhere, um, they're gonna get back their division ID, which is gonna be a -1. It's gonna be a -1 because they haven't even registered yet, I think. I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense. Do I just set division ID to -1 for everyone? Client divisions for max clients, it's -1. Yeah. Oh, the ability to add and subtract people to this stuff that's really something I need to do. But I think it's right so far. Okay. And so basically this request right here is the only way you get to see the spectate button. Because you don't want to spectate something that's not ongoing, certainly, right? And I'll figure out some way on the UI on the client side to be like, because some guy showing up out of nowhere, he probably wants to know what the songs are before he goes and spectates. So that's good, right? You have to do the initial request before you can do this request. So it lines up like that. Okay, so that makes sense. That's right. Cool. Okay. Perfect. All right. So the client has to make this new kind of request. And we're gonna go back and forth about what to call this request a lot, but that's what has to happen here. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so where's the list of requests? I want to add it to the send player key event. Handle name self response, send name self request. Okay, yeah, it's gonna be here. Okay. Send I don't know, advance state request. Okay, and you're gonna be your promise. Yeah, you're gonna get back. You're gonna get back an int 8. That's not how you do that. It's this, right? And then there's a resolve reject here. Just gonna, like copy paste this a little bit. Okay. Oh, and even better, we don't literally send the request. We say that we are ready to send that request, and we have to wait. Yeah, we say private static want to send advance state. Okay, we have to wait until we've received our other requests before we can advance. And logically, I should implement some kind of timeout thing because like the client will literally just be trapped waiting for a response from the player count request if there's an issue. So that's not good. What should happen? Like it should. That's actually that's a nasty problem. That's a really nasty problem because like the server that's not recoverable. Wow. Because if the server the only way you should be able to recover from that situation is if the server actually had an issue and it's just not going to respond to you. Because if the server is eventually going to respond to you and you're expecting a different you're going to interpret it wrong. And that's not good. That's a bug either way. Wow, okay. So, yeah, this server really can't fuck up, man. The server. Okay. Else if this is really ugly looking. What the heck? Oh. The server needs to verify that you sent a username. That's interesting. Yeah. Let me go make a note of that. Yeah. Yeah, because everyone that's in the mid game, yeah, it needs to be able to generate the mid game lobby for everybody who's made it that far, right? So, yikes. That's interesting. That's interesting. Is there anything else I need to verify? I don't think so. I think that's good enough. But that is tricky. Dude, this is a really hard problem. I did not think it was going to be this involved, but it is. It's interesting. Okay, so we save this dot waiting for response. Is true. Okay. So what we do when we click pretend the game has started is we say, what's going on here? There we go. Okay. That's what we do is we send an advanced state request. Yes, we send an advanced state request. And this button just should not do anything at all. We'll leave it there for now, just in case we feel the need. Cool. Cool, interesting, cool. God, testing this is going to be so bad. Oh, it's going to be so bad. Excuse me. Okay, send a request. Send a request. We need an array buffer and a data view, like always. This is a 1 byte, isn't it? And this is number 8. Yeah, this is message type 8. And then we send it. Yeah. Okay, we sent it. It's sending. And now we need to do the response, right? Yeah. Yeah, and it's literally, it should literally be whatever the server says we're doing is what we're doing. Okay, so I think, well, I need a data view. Yep, we get an int 8 from 0. And okay, and then we say if division ID is equal to -2, triple equals. It's the triple equals is so silly, isn't it? No other languages do that. And it's always been so funny to me. It's like, oh, like super really equals. Like I actually mean it this time. For real equals. I don't know. I think it's funny. But there's no like greater than equals equals or less than equals equals. Or like equals 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 greater than. Or like less than equals 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 8. There's none of that. So what do we even do in this situation? Do we just send the request again? We should probably wait a half second, maybe. We'll just send it again, right? This dot want to send advanced state. You set it equal to true again. What about the other case? Well, if division ID is -1, then hold on, I should just do like constant.log dot back division but for division ID equals -1, we should do like, you know, enter a state where you can't register anymore, but you can spectate. Yeah. And then you could be like, if division ID is greater than -1, because you know, like maybe the server sends a -3 or something. I don't know. It shouldn't be able to, but maybe it does. Then what? Okay, so probably this is something this is already sort of taken care of by the initial information request. But we need to know as the user how to go download the files, right? So that we can like go do that. Yeah. Yeah, so this is actually making a lot of sense now. Yeah, so in the initial information request, we get sent along not just the names of the songs, which get displayed, but also the like song IDs. And if we know the song IDs, then we can go look them up in S3. The client will know how to do that. Yeah, okay. And so from the server's perspective, though, nothing really changes. I mean, the match, the state of the server changes. Like we have a number, which will change what things it responds to. Like it will just literally not respond to certain requests. I think, depending on the match state, it should probably respond to the initial info request, though. Always, right? Yeah, it probably should be doing that. Yeah, yeah. Like you don't need the song IDs if a match is ongoing. Uh, oh wait, no, that's not true. No, that's not true because as a spectator, yeah, no, as a spectator, you do need to load the songs. and skip ahead. That's the next thing on the client that's going to be really hard, right? It's like skipping into the song. Yeah, you'd think I already know how to do that, but I haven't actually done that before. I don't think. I don't think I have. Yeah. Okay, so if division ID is greater than -1, so you get a spectate button. And then, so does this get a button? Does this get a button too? Huh. I think this does get a button. Yeah, I think this does get a button. Or like enter. Okay. So actually both cases you get a button. And maybe if your division ID is greater than -1, you get both buttons. Yeah, maybe you get both buttons. Uh, and the spectate button actually, I think the spectate view is no different from the mid-game lobby. Right? It's no different from the mid-game lobby. Oh, you know what though? Yeah. You know what? This is maybe a different button. This is maybe a different kind of spectate button. Because this spectator. Huh. This is odd. Because this spectator could go look at different divisions, is the thing. This spectator can go look at different divisions. Yeah. And I also haven't figured out the because there's multiple rounds, right? I'm gonna need some other sort of endpoint for the checking the state of the round. I think the server's probably gonna need some other value for checking the state of the round as well, because each round is gonna have each round has like a duration, and so depending on if that duration has expired, um, it might not accept certain requests. It'll just ignore them. Like if you're trying to send play data and the round's already over, which is actually extremely likely to do. It's not like a hacker trying to do that. It's like that's just a thing that's going to happen. Okay. Well, honestly I should keep going, but I feel like kind of like tired. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end for the night. Um, but we're making progress. We're figuring things out. We're designing things. Um, and yeah, probably gonna stream tomorrow. God, I'm not looking forward to tomorrow. At work, not with this project, but work is gonna, yeah, it's gonna be a really really boring day. Just all day meetings. Oh jeez. Yeah, wish me luck with that. All right, but yeah, I hope to be streaming tomorrow. Of course, no guarantee that I will be, but if I am, hope to see you there. Until then,